Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something really quite powerful for teenagers as they navigate their world. Gratitude.
That's right.
We'll explore how actively, appreciating things can really boost their mental well-being.
And crucially, how you as parents can help guide them in using this skill.
Yeah, we want to offer some practical tools.
Exactly. We're going beyond just saying thank you and really digging into how cultivating a grateful perspective can shift things for teens. We've looked at some solid research, too.
From places like Nemours Kids Health, Harvard Health.
Yeah, and they all highlight some pretty fascinating benefits.
Okay, so let's start there. When we talk about gratitude, what are we really talking about? It's got to be more than just manners, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, gratitude is about truly feeling thankful for the good things in life.
Positive aspects.
Yes. And Nemours Kids Health points out this includes stuff we often just take for granted. You know, a place to live, food, clean water.
Friends, family. The basics we sometimes forget to notice.
Precisely. It's about intentionally recognizing how fortunate we are when good things happen. Big things, small things, doesn't matter.
Like a teacher staying late to help, or even just, I don't know, a sunny day after a week of rain.
Absolutely those things. And it covers a range of feelings. Thankful, fortunate, appreciative, even humbled or blessed. It's about valuing the positive.
Okay, so why is this especially important for teenagers? What makes gratitude such a key thing for them right now?
Well, there are several really compelling reasons, especially for parents to tune into.
Okay.
For one, feeling grateful can actually sharpen their minds. Positive emotions and gratitude's a big one seem to enhance cognitive functions.
Meaning, like, better focus, better decisions.
Exactly, making it easier to learn to make sound choices. The research suggests there's a link there.
Interesting. So a grateful teen might actually, perform better academically.
It's plausible based on that cognitive boost. And second, gratitude acts as a powerful counterbalance to negative emotions.
Which can be pretty intense during adolescence.
Definitely. Studies consistently show that teens who practice gratitude tend to report being happier, less stressed, and less likely to feel depressed.
How does that work?
It shifts their focus away from what they feel they lack towards appreciating what they do have.
That feels crucial, especially with social media constantly showing these curated, perfect-looking lives.
Exactly that. And it doesn't stop there. It actually ripples into their behavior.
How so?
Well, when a teen feels genuinely grateful for someone's kindness, they're naturally more inclined to be kind in return. Pay it forward, you know?
Right.
Plus, actually saying thank you can encourage more thoughtful actions from others. It kind of builds this positive cycle.
So it's not just internal. It shapes their interaction.
Absolutely. And thinking about relationships, expressing heartfelt gratitude and respect, that's fundamental for building strong bonds.
With friends, with family.
Yeah. It fosters trust, increases feelings of closeness. It actively strengthens those vital connections.
Makes sense.
And another point. When gratitude becomes more of a habit, teens just get better at noticing the good stuff.
They become more aware.
Yeah, they start to see positive events as they happen, things they might have otherwise just overlooked.
Which seems especially important given the pressures they're under. We hear some worrying stats about teen stress levels.
We certainly do. The American Psychological Association, for instance, reported that around 70% of teens feel overwhelmed.
70%.
Yeah, by school, sports, social life, and like you mentioned, those constant social media comparisons.
Yeah, they spend a lot of time on those platforms.
Pew Research found it's an average of about 3 hours a day. So that feeling of everyone else is doing better or FOMO, fear of missing out, can be pretty relentless.
It's like watching a constant highlight reel of everyone else's life.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And this is where gratitude can be, well, a real game changer.
How? By shifting focus again?
Exactly. It helps them refocus on their reality of what they already have, what they can appreciate. It acts like a buffer against that negative comparison trap.
And we know mental health is such a major concern for this age group.
It really is. The National Institute of Mental Health data suggests about 1 in 3 teens experience an anxiety disorder by age 18.
That's staggering.
It is. And our brains naturally have this negativity bias. We're wired to look for threats. Gratitude is like a simple mental exercise to gently rewire that focus
Towards the positive.
towards the positive aspects of their lives, yeah.
Is there actual science backing this up? Like, what happens in the brain?
Oh, absolutely. Harvard Health Publishing talks about this. When we express gratitude, it triggers the release of key neurochemicals.
Like what?
Dopamine, that's the reward chemical. Serotonin, which helps regulate mood. and oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone.
Wow. So it literally creates a chemical shift.
Yeah, you could think of it as a natural mood booster promoting well-being and connection, like a feel-good cascade in the
A
brain.
feel-good cascade. I like
Yeah,
that.
and there's more. Research from UC Berkeley's Greater Good Science Center found something interesting. People who regularly wrote gratitude letters showed less activity in the brain's rumination network.
Rumination. That's like dwelling on negative stuff.
Exactly. Those repetitive negative thought loops that can be so draining, gratitude seems to quiet that down.
Just by writing a letter, that's powerful.
It is. And the tangible benefits are pretty significant too. Johns Hopkins research, mentioned by the Mayo Clinic, found teens practicing gratitude reported about 23% fewer depression symptoms
23%.
and about 17% less fatigue. These aren't small changes. They point to real improvements in overall well-being.
Okay. You've made a really strong case for why gratitude matters so much. So let's get practical. What can parents actually do to encourage this?
Right, the how-to. There are several effective and actually quite simple things parents can introduce.
Like what? What's an easy starting point?
Well, as Nemours Kids Health suggests, one of the simplest is modeling and encouraging them to say thank you often and genuinely.
Not just robotically.
No, really meaning it. Help them look for reasons to thank people, teachers, friends, family, even strangers, and say it out loud. It feels good for both people involved.
Fostering that awareness of kindness and acknowledging it.
Exactly. Another really powerful tool is encouraging a gratitude journal.
Okay, I've heard of those.
Suggest they just take a few minutes each day, maybe before bed is good, to jot down a few things they're grateful for.
Does it have to be elaborate?
Not at all. Even just listing 3 good things, big or small, can really start to shift their focus. The Greater Good Science Center found many teens notice a difference in their outlook within just a couple of weeks.
A few minutes for potentially a big shift? That sounds manageable.
It really is. Another idea is a gratitude jar.
Oh, tell me about that.
Get a simple jar, maybe let them decorate it, keep it somewhere visible each day, write one thing they're grateful for on a slip of paper and pop it in.
Ah, so it builds up over time.
Yeah, it becomes this visual, tangible reminder of all the good things in their life. They can pull them out and read them when they need a boost.
I like that. A visual collection of positives.
Writing a letter is another good one. A letter to someone they really value, explaining why they appreciate them.
Do they have to send it?
Nope, not necessarily. The act of reflecting and writing it down is where a lot of the benefit comes from. It really helps them articulate that appreciation.
Makes sense.
And maybe finding a gratitude buddy, a friend or family member they can share things with.
Like check in daily.
Yeah, maybe just text or quickly share 3 things they're grateful for. Having someone else do it too adds accountability and makes it more, engaging.
Turning it into a shared practice could definitely help with motivation.
Exactly. And just generally encouraging them to notice the small stuff.
The everyday moments.
Yeah. A beautiful sunrise, a funny meme, a friend sent, a good song, a kind word from someone. Training their brain to actively look for and appreciate these little positives.
Like flexing a muscle.
Precisely. Maybe even suggest a daily thank you ritual, like sending one text or message each day just to thank someone.
And gratitude isn't just thinking, right? It's also about doing.
Absolutely. Gratitude in action is huge. Encouraging volunteering, helping others.
How does that connect?
Well, DoSomething.org found that teens who volunteer even just an hour a week report higher life satisfaction and feel more connected. Helping others often sparks feelings of appreciation for what you have.
Oh, okay. Perspective.
Yeah, encourage them to spread kindness, maybe even a friendly challenge among friends to do appreciative acts. And researcher Robert Emmons really emphasizes consistency. Even just listing 3 to 5 things weekly helps consciously focus on the positive.
So lots of options. Journaling, jars, letters, buddies, action.
Counting blessings mentally if time is super short. Just thinking about someone who did something nice and mentally thanking them even, that has benefits. It's about finding what resonates.
And these benefits, they go beyond just feeling happy, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned research on physical effects, too.
Yes, Robert Emmons' work points to some surprising physical correlations. Things like potentially stronger immune systems, being less bothered by aches and pains.
Really?
Yeah, even potentially lower blood pressure, more likelihood to exercise, and sleeping better. It's quite holistic.
Wow. So mind and body connection.
It seems so. And psychologically, as we said, higher positive emotions, more alertness, joy, optimism. Socially, grateful people tend to be seen as more helpful, generous, compassionate, forgiving.
More outgoing,
Yeah.
less lonely.
That's what the research suggests. Gratitude is inherently social. It strengthens relationships by making us recognize how others support us.
It really sounds like it creates this upward spiral.
It really does. And research by Alex Wood suggests it can actually block toxic emotions like envy and resentment.
That's interesting. How?
Well, it's hard to feel envious of what someone else has when you're focused on appreciating what you have. Grateful people also tend to be more stress resistant.
They bounce back faster.
Yeah, they show more resilience when facing adversity. And finally, by acknowledging how others contribute to our lives, gratitude can actually boost self-worth, paradoxically.
By recognizing you're supported and valued.
Exactly. It paints a picture of a much more resilient, connected, and, well, positive young person.
It sounds fantastic, but are there things that make it hard? Obstacles for teens, maybe?
Yeah, there are a couple of natural human tendencies that can get in the way sometimes.
Like what?
One is the self-serving bias,
Hmm.
where we tend to credit ourselves for successes, but blame outside factors for failures.
Right. I aced the test because I'm smart, but I failed because the teacher hates me.
Kind of like that, yeah. Gratitude pushes against that by encouraging us to give credit to others, to
Hmm.
circumstances, to luck sometimes. It means acknowledging we're not always solely responsible for the good things.
Recognizing interdependence.
Exactly. It can also feel a bit counter to our desire to always feel in control. Gratitude involves accepting things as they are, appreciating the good even amidst imperfections.
Which isn't always easy.
No. And it can also challenge the just world belief, the idea that everyone always gets exactly what they deserve. Gratitude opens us up to the idea that we often receive more than we strictly deserve through kindness or just good fortune,
So it requires a shift away from maybe entitlement or constant striving.
towards recognizing and appreciating the support and abundance that's already there. Yes.
This has been incredibly insightful. If we were to boil it down, what's the core takeaway for parents listening today?
I think the key message is that actively helping your teenager cultivate a grateful mindset isn't just a nice to have. It can genuinely, profoundly benefit their mental health, their friendships, their resilience, even school performance. It's a vital life skill.
A really valuable tool for navigating adolescence. So what's one manageable first step a parent could suggest?
Just encourage them to try one simple practice, maybe the 3 good things journal entry or the gratitude jar, or just saying thank you more consciously. Try it for a week.
Just for a week.
Yeah, and then just talk about it. See how it felt. Did they notice anything different? Small steps are key.
Okay. And as we wrap up, maybe a final thought for you, our listeners. Take just a moment right now. What's one thing, big or small, that you feel genuinely thankful for today?
That's a great prompt.
Maybe share it with your teen tonight. Ask them the same question. Making gratitude part of the conversation could be a really powerful starting point. Thanks for exploring this with us.